Hey everybody, it's Alara. Welcome to part 2 of my WIP Parade. If you saw the first part, you know that this is editing me. I had to split my video. It was 3 hours long. I've recorded and uploaded long ones like that before, but the software is just not having it this time. So I apologize for sort of the weird transition to the rest of the WIP Parade, but I wasn't planning on splitting it, so here we are. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are just joining me and have not seen the first part of the WIP Parade, there is part 1. I highly encourage you to go watch that, as these are the WIPs that I have touched this year. Once these videos are uploaded, finally, I will film the second part of the WIPs that I have but have not touched so far this year. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the second part of this WIP Parade. Take care. Alright, this one is another one from Cross Stitch for the Soul. This one is A Good Companion, Shortens the Longest Road. And this is being stitched on a piece of 14 count ivory Aida. This was a new start, and I put 417 stitches in. And I went ahead and counted up to the top and started down on that one. I like the ivory for the colors in this so far. Didn't have any trouble so far with those colors. This next one was on my focus piece list. Gypsy Firefly, artwork by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the regular size max color version. And I'm starting to hit that edge of the caravan in that tree. I've put in a total of 2,131 stitches so far this year. I now have 15,576 out of 283,500 for 5.49%. I'm stitching this on 18 count fabric, 18 count Aida, 2/1 full cross. I just have these 2 pork threads now because I hit the edge of the hoop that I was on. I don't know if I can I fit the before shot in there? A lot of pork threads from what I remember. But yeah, that's really coming along. I'm loving that, how it looks. The confetti is for real in this because it's that max color. Like, the tree itself was really blocky, but filling it in with all those colors is no joke. Alright, and if you guys watch Jen as well, which I'm sure you do at this point, the Caffeinated Crafter, she has Honeymoon Sunset as her focus. I have it started. It is definitely not a focus, though. This is artwork by Abraham Hunter, charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. It is 869 by 649, so another one of those. It might as well be supersized. She has like this whole corner filled in. It's gorgeous, absolutely. And then she's got a smattering of other stuff filled in too, but definitely go check out her channel to see this in its glory. I have just added 926 to it this year, and it only has 2,627 stitches out of 563,981 for a 0.47%. And I was getting annoyed with this stupid tree. So I would pick a color in the corner and stitch it until I got bored. When I got sick of trying to follow the confetti, I would park it. So that's where we are at so far. So you can see, like, doing that, I definitely got a nice solid corner going compared to where I started from. But this is one where, yeah, parked threads will just happen because, like, the confetti is just crazy. I will pick them up and start stitching with them again once I get down to where they go. The colors in it are gorgeous. Like, look at that. It's worth it, but man, oh man. Betsy does not shy away from the confetti at all. And neither should you. It's just one stitch at a time. Alright, next up is another piece by Total Cross Stitch. This one is called Hot Air Balloon. Yep, there it is. And I've seen Sarah stitching on this. She's the owner of Total Cross Stitch, and it looks really, really, really good. Size is 250 by 350. Here is the finished piece, what it will look like. That just reminds me of a nice summer evening in front of Everest, apparently. This was a new start. I have put 473 stitches out of 87,500. So a very small start. Here. I'm not exactly sure what is happening with all these stitches the way I decided to do it, but yeah, I think what happened was I started working in the diagonal and then ended up with cross country there at the end. So I'm just coming up and I was filling in the thread that I have, is what I'm assuming happened there. I have been forgetting to tell you the things. Honeymoon Sunset is on 32 count fabric, 1/1 full cross. I think that was the only one I forgot, right? Yeah, that was the only one I forgot. Hot Air Balloon here is on 28 count even weave. Also 1/1. No, I'm lying. Ooh, is this 10 stitch? It sure is. It's 28 count, 2/1 full 10 stitch on this one. I will have to be careful of that when I pick it up again, so that I don't just start going gung-ho on full cross. I mean, I could. It won't make any, like, you won't be able to tell, but it might annoy me later when I realize I started that off on 10 stitch. Could have been going faster. Alright, next up was another finish. And this one was a whip at the beginning of the year, and I did grab a screenshot of that one. So this was an MCG Textiles It's Cool to Care kit. I did not stitch the I don't have the cover photo anymore, and I'm not going to try and go find it, but there was, like, it said It's Cool to Care up here. I didn't want to do that, so what did I do? Did I do anything? I think I might have moved the star a little bit so that it was kind of more of a circle. Or I added a star somewhere. I don't know. I moved something around so that it looked, you know, relatively symmetrical for that. But none of that cloud white is stitched. But the snowman was stitched in, or filled in, with that little bit of back stitching around the scarf. There's a tiny bit around his nose. I don't know. The back stitching ended up reading kind of weird to me. I don't recommend their kits. They're not in business anymore, and I don't recommend their kits. Like, the Thomas Kincaid Disney Dreams collection, don't waste your money on those. The concept is nice, but the kits aren't worth it. Not for what they're calling for. Not for what people ask for them. So, but I'm happy it's finished. It's cute. I don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe save it for a grandkid. If I ever have them. Hopefully years and years and years and years down the line. All right. Next up. Oh, that was, I think that was 14 count. Whatever came in the kit kind of stuff. Next up is another Heaven and Earth Designs. This is Japan Garden. This is a max color version. Artwork is by Dominic Davison. It is 625 by 444 and contains 240 colors, and apparently I hate myself because of that. With flowers are confetti anyway, but you throw in a max color? Like, what was I thinking? I was thinking it's going to look really good. I put in 961 stitches so far this year, which brings me a total of 1,560 out of 277,500. I do have some park threads. I was kind of doing like with Honeymoon Sunset. I would stitch until I got bored, and then I would park the thread. And it's just that it's kind of sky barf at the moment until we get some more, and it'll turn into tree a little bit, but it really doesn't look like anything until all of those stitches get put in there. There. Now you can see the before. So I do love this one, especially again with my trip to Japan. It was kind of more of a nostalgia kind of. Want to go back someday when I can enjoy the entire vacation instead of being sick the whole time. But apparently I just am sick all the time. Get in there. All right, next up is a piece that I call Jeremy with my friend Nana. We call him Jeremy. This is a piece by Stefan Coidel. The artwork is by Stefan Coidel. The chart is from Contemporary Cross. He is 400 by 486. She is doing a cropped version that she cropped herself. I'm doing the full thing. I love him. He is definitely different than anything else I'm stitching. He has so far 1,444 stitches out of 194,400 for 0.74%, and they were all blues, obviously, with that thing being, I mean, it only has 39 colors. I'm pretty sure they're all shades of blue. That's where I'm at so far. I go quiet because in my head, every single piece, man, I wish I could get more stitches in on that. Every single piece. I'm stitching this on a 28 count Monaco, 1/1 full cross. And rather than get annoying and saying it over and over and over when I absolutely know that I can't stitch all the things all the time for all the stitches, one of these days I will finally decide that I'm tired of starting all the new things, and I will stop and actually make some significant progress on like a handful of them. That day is not today. Next up is another Heaven and Earth Designs piece. This is Supersize Max Color Light Weaver. Artwork is by Raven Phelan, Michelle Lee Phelan. 999 by, or 706 by 999 because it's tall. Really. And so far this year, I have added 2,636 stitches. we go. Get the before shot in there for you. And so that brings me up to 14,936 out of 705,294 stitches. So he is at a whopping 1.47%. Because he's a big boy. He's huge. But I got that part of the background of wing filled in. And then I'm coming back up here and we're just going to keep filling in blue. I may just go all the way across the top and keep filling in blue. Alright, hopefully the dog bark didn't come through as bad as I worried it will. Because, 145. Let me make a note. I will double check and cut that out if I have to. Okay, Little Brown Bat is up next. Cottage Garden Samplings. And did not get much started on him, but I got in 153 stitches. Ta-da! I'm going to avoid his face for as long as possible because I'm going to attempt to rechart it. Excuse me. Hopefully by the time I get there I will feel a lot more confident in that. We shall see. Apparently I do not know how to alphabetize, y'all. I had to put this next one in manually in my spreadsheet, and yeah, I did not put that in the right spot. Leap of Faith. This was one of the very first kits that I bought when I got back into cross stitching. This is a kit by Bucilla. There we go. She took a leap of faith and grew her wings on the way down. I had never worked on 28 count before this. I had never done over 2 threads, and I had not really done a lot of like black work. I avoided backstitching like the plague, so there's a lot of firsts on this one. I don't know how many I added this year because I didn't track it when I worked on it. But that's where it's at now compared to the before shot. So I did get a decent little chunk done. It's still got quite a ways to go. I believe all the back stitching is done in this feather. Not the back stitching, the cross stitching. So I'm just working on the black work basically to get this feather done. So slowly but surely on that one. It's only 2 colors. I have to go backwards for this one. When I sorted my spreadsheet, I forgot that I had this differentiated a little bit differently, so it threw it. Even though I've got this in my B section, I have it down as LLB for Lorna Lane, so it threw it way down in the bottom, like in the middle. So obviously, kit by Gecko Rouge, artwork by Lorna Lane. I added 459 stitches to this year, which puts me at a total of 1,064 out of 65,116, so it's really not huge. Well, that puts me at 0, where'd it go? 1.63%. So, it's washing out. Here we go. And so yeah, most of that has really kind of been added this year. 28 count 1/1 full cross. It's an easy guide, easy count Lugana. I love her pieces. Love them. Oops. Okay. Where is you? There he is. Okay. Next up is the Heaven and Earth Designs piece. This was a limited edition chart a few years ago when I first started looking into full coverages like this. This is called Malagonos. The artwork is by PL1 at Chihuahua. 500 by 503. Beautiful. I'm in the upper left-hand corner today. I wish. This year I have added 2,495 stitches, so I'm at a total of 3,695 out of 251,500. There we go. And I am now at 1.47%. So it looks a little wonky, looks a little weird, because there's this color kind of stripes this way, the rain stripes this way. How I'm filling it in is kind of in stripy chunks. So that is staying in as a focus piece because I really want to see some more. I would love to get this back to where I was when I restarted. I think I had like 30K in when I restarted it, something ridiculous. But you can only do so much, right? When you got too many. All right. Next up is a piece by, I think it's Counting the Stars again. Yep, Counting the Stars. This is called Mandala Feathers. Yep. And I'm putting this on like a, it's not quite red, not quite, Marinus 2 is much darker than what this is. And it wasn't labeled with a color. But it is either 14 or 16 count. I'm pretty sure it's 14 count. Ada. There we go. That is hard to see what is marked off. Okay, it goes this way. It doesn't really matter because it's pretty symmetrical. But as you can see, it's not exactly symmetrical because this part is filled in all the way, but there's like a different color. So it was not hand charted for sure. But that's where I'm at. And I did a floss toss and the colors look good, so. My throat is definitely not liking how much I'm talking. All right, next up is called Misty Castle on a Lake. This is from a store that is no longer in business. Where'd it go? Did I not pull it out? Nope, I did not pull it out. Okay. I am stitching this on 32 count even weave, 1/1 full cross. This year I have added 476, and it's got a total of 3,984 stitches now, out of 251,512 for 1.58%. It's a very, very light colored piece, and hopefully you can see, I know the screenshots are terrible, but hopefully you can see the progress on that. Next up is was a new start this year. This is from Cross Stitch for Everyone. Not that far down. Called Morning Glow. So pretty. And it got 506 stitches out of 190,736 for 0.27%. I am stitching this 2/1 full cross on, so it's big, on this 18 count Davos even weave in the color Putty, because I had a big enough piece, so I thought, why not? That is huge though. It's going to be big. Okay. I feel like I'm not saying much about any one project, but we're still almost 2 hours in, so I also feel like I'm not saying things fast enough. Alright, this next one is a Christmas ornament out of this 100 cross stitch Christmas ornaments called Mountain Santa. That little guy, as you can see, he does not have much started on him. I got 109 stitches put in, and this is, I think it's like an 18 count. Maybe. It might be even smaller than that. I have no idea. It was a scrap fabric that I had in my stash from Lord knows when. And I think I'm doing this 2/1 full cross, so it's pretty thick. Because it's tiny. Yeah. Okay, this next one was a recent start from Heaven and Earth Designs. Ann Stokes is the artist. And it is Once Upon a Time. Oops. It's 525 by 674. That is what it will look like when it's complete. There's going to be a lot of blurry background from in my life for quite some time with this one. I got 531 stitches in out of 353,850. So it's at 0.15%. Yeah. And it looks like there's going to be some fascinating shape here, but it's literally just blur. Blurry tree background. That shadow just happens to have that particular shape to it. So that is what I got in. I'm stitching this on 28 count even weave 1/1 full cross. Next up is a Tilton Crafts piece. Called One to Rule Them All. I am blanking on the artist's name. Eric Stein. This is 350 by 230. There you go. This looks fabulous when it's finished. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Right now, all I have is some of the 310 started. Ta-da. I've added 1,410 stitches so far for a total of 2,110 stitches out of 80,500 for 2.62%. So it's literally just a difference in how tall the black is for the beginning shot. Okay, next up is Peaceful Jaguar. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Lucy Bilodeau. This is the crop version, if I didn't say that already. He is 325 by 325, and he was a new start. I only got 185 stitches in him. It's on that 18 count Davis fabric. And I'm stitching it 2 over 1 full cross. And there's my start. That's just a waist thread way over there because why did I do that? I must have just had one stitch and didn't feel like tying it off. Sorry for all the noise. Okay, next up is a piece from Dimensions. This is just one of their regular kits. It's called Peacock Butterflies. I am doing this on 14 count Ivory Aida. It's not the original fabric that came in the kit because that faded. I just replaced it with another piece of 14 count Ivory Aida that I had. It only has 126 on stitches in there, and it's just this blue border up there that I stitched all the way across and then started back in, and then the thread ended, and yeah, I got 126 in. Very boring to see. But yeah, I'm just stitching with the called for fabric, or called for floss. On that one. Okay. All right, next up is a piece this is the one that got me back into stitching. It is a stamped kit called Pegasus. Well, they didn't call it Pegasus, but that's what it is. And I am almost done with this one. It has, I think, less than 4,000 stitches left on it. I will put the before photo. I found where that magnet goes to. I will put the before photo up because it's big and I don't think I can fit it all in there. And here is where we are. Let me get this needle minder out of the way. There we go. There we go. So all of the back stitching is done now in the body, which is where I was before. I got all of this stitched in, and I don't remember if that's kind of where I was at the beginning of the year or if I had more to fill in, but the only thing that's left to fill in is the rocky outcrop here and a little bit of the water and one little thing of back stitch right here once that's in, and then this sucker is done. Why I didn't put him on my like once a week focus, I don't know. He's on the regular like rotation for the other focuses though, so he'll get done when he gets done. Excuse me. I don't know how many stitches I've actually put in him this year. I did not track. That's one I didn't track very well. My tracker says 209, but it's more than that. Okay. My dog is going to start being stupid because my husband's not paying attention to him. This is a needlepoint kit from Dimensions, the gold collection. Would you be quiet? Rude Peony tapestry. I don't have a ton done. It's like these two stripes and a little tiny bit of the needle point done in this one. This is working on the reverse crosses. Here on the bottom. Would you shush? Here in the bottom. I don't even know. That's really hard to see where I've stitched. There. Shush! There we go. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I've been dealing with this stuff since about noon today. Okay, next up was a finish. I got this from that 100 cross stitch ornaments peppermint photo frame. Obviously it's not fully finished. I gotta cut this out, stick the photo behind it, back it and all that fun stuff. I put this on a plastic canvas, so it's a little more stable than perforated paper that called for. And my cat's going nuts, y'all. She thinks she's starving because I gave her dinner and then she ate it too fast. And if you have cats, you know what happens when they eat too fast. So she thinks she's hungry again. Okay. And then we have another one out of that ornament book. Called Precious Puppy. I was really hoping this would be a finish, but there was a little bit more stitches in there than my Monopoly call was for. I got 302 stitches in. That present is done. The ribbon is done, and then I'm ready to work on the puppy part and get the back stitching done. I've got a little bit more of the little dots to fill into the present. I put this on a 14 or 16 count fabric. I don't know. It was a scrap. And then we also have one of the gnomes. Another one of the gnomes, I should say. This is Present Gnome. And I have most of the ribbon done. But again, dye lot, possible dye lot issues. You can't tell that there's two different colors in there. So hopefully the back stitching will just differentiate that enough that it'll be fine. So it is what it is. That was a new start this year. I got 328 out of 2,811 stitches, not including backstitch, for 11.67%. And then we have, I think this is a Pain-Free Crafts Rainbow Pegasus. I believe this is a Jan Patrick Krasny piece. Let's see how good my memory is on this one. If I can find it. There it is. Oh, nope. Artisy. Artisy, a Rainbow Pegasus, but the artist is Jan Patrick Krasny. It is 300 by 216. There is what it will look like when it's complete. I have not started stitching the wing, but I am to the wing with the stitches that I've put in, which I only put in 295 out of 64,800. It's another teeny tiny one on that 32 count even weave, but that's my start. Looks like nothing, but like that's actually part of those wings. So I'm not sure that it feels like some of that got cropped off, which is fine, but I feel like there was a lot more background. Like, yeah, I feel like it I don't know. I don't feel like it should have hit that already. I feel like that's gonna possibly be cropped off. That'll be interesting to see if that's what happened. Okay. And then next up is another gnome piece. This is the reindeer gnome. This cute little reindeer hat. And I got all of 228 stitches out of 2,224 for 10.25%, but it's the reindeer part. And then his nose, that's his nose, reindeer's nose. I did not get all of the ear stitch though. I'm sorry for my yowling cat. Oh my god. She makes me crazy with that crap. Okay. Next up is Ride to Dreamland. This is out of Stony Creek Collection, book 10-something, 6. These pictures do not do these justice. They never do. But I think even more so because this is from like the 80s. I'm definitely not doing it on the called for fabric. I am doing this on a 28 count casual linen from Sunny Dyes. Oh, I left a needle on the... Boy, I just kind of gave up when I stopped stitching. And I have added 478 stitches to this. I'm not sure how many I've got total though, because I've on paper. Yeah, I'm stitching it on paper, but again, I'm gonna try and maybe see if I can get it into Pattern Keeper because it's kind of a pain the way these pages are broken up to do. So hopefully you can see I did add a little bit to that saddle. It's started to get into that saddle blanket. And I think it's going to work really well on that fabric. So pretty. And I swear, I've counted and recounted, and it says it's going to fit. But I am so nervous about it actually fitting in that width. But I've counted. But we all know how stitchers can count sometimes. That is to say they can't. So, we will see. Okay, and then another Stony Creek. This is book 117. I am stitching Rosy's Pride. I don't remember exactly which one she is. Oh, please. Yeah, okay. Please, this one. I got, it's only 136 stitches to start. I'm stitching this on a 28 count gray Jobelin, 2/2 or 3/3. Whatever it calls for. I can't remember. It might be 3/3. But that's all I've gotten in there so far. It's kind of sad. 136 stitches. Pretty colors though. All right, and this next one is another ornament. This one is by Mill Hill, but it's on the actual fabric, not one of the perforated papers. It's one of their, close this upside down. This one, Royal Plum. So it's stitched in a square but folded so that it makes the diamond. So there's where we're at so far. I'm just doing all the cross stitching first, and then I'll add the beads later. I got 427 stitches in on this one. I don't really want to serge the edges because I'm not great at fixing the width of that, and this fabric frays really bad. I probably should, but then there's not much to work with once the serges go in. Okay, next up is a piece by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a retired chart from Dakota Detweiler. This is Saint. He is 525 by 656. And I'm started in this upper left-hand corner start, so it looks a little kind of wonky from what the rest of the piece looks like, to be honest. But I got 303 stitches in the start out of 344,400. And apparently I started doing this in the diagonal. So those perk threads, I will fix that next time this comes out. So you can see that's, like I said, when I started putting these in, I was like, that does not look like the colors in this chart, but it totally is. So it is at 0.09%. So tiny. I'm stitching this on 28 count even weave, 1/1 full cross. Oh, there he is. He got shoved down. Next up is a piece from, Pain Free Crafts. This is artwork by Stanley Morrison. This is Saki Dragon. It's 297 by 400. My burned out screen is kind of showing this not true to how the piece looks. There we go. I have added 2,462 stitches this year. I now have a total of 4,061 out of 118,800 for 3.42%. So I think this is part of the dragon now. Would hope if I showed it the correct way. Yeah. There we go. Get that before in there. Yeah, that's bits of the dragon. Oh, the cat got down here. Why is she down here? What else do I want to say about this? Oh, 28 count, something or other, even weave. I think it's a Lugana. And 1/1 full cross for this. I'm going to go kick my cat. I'll be back. I'm not really going to kick the cat. All right, and next up is Sampler 231. This is by, 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy. That is the monochrome mock-up. I am stitching this on 46 count linen by Fiber on a Whim in brown sugar. I am stitching this 2/2 full cross, and mostly with metallics so far. Well, with metallics so far, and I have I have some rayon floss from Hobby Lobby that I might throw in there. So I have, this was a new start this year. I've put in 1,091 stitches out of 32,248 for 3.38%. And I actually really like how that's turning out. The way I work with metallics, it's not bad. I actually probably would have. Is this over 2? Yeah, that's over 2. I actually have an easier time working with the 2 strands than with 1 strand, to be honest. Because with the 2 strands, the way I put the thread on my needle, it's just at the eye of the needle that you know, how metallics kind of break, and not break, but they separate a bit, and you have the middle that comes out, and it doesn't look pretty. That stays there. I don't have to worry about it showing up in the work at all. Okay. Ooh, last page. Last page. Okay, this one was also a new start. For whatever reason, it did not make it onto my spreadsheet, nor is it in my tracker at all. I don't know what happened. So I put it on my new start wheel to just get rotated in at some point. But this is by Twin Peak Primitives, called Sandpipers. In high tide or low, in high tide or low tide, I'll be by your side. Very cute. I am doing my own color conversion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are staying the same. Otherwise, it's like whatever fancy floss I had that just kind of went with it. I have no clue how many stitches I have put in, but this is where I'm at with it. I had started stitching the Sandpiper, but then I realized the brown that they use, or the white that they use, is different than what I'm using in the sea. So I had to frog what I had in there and separate the bird, to separate the bird from the water. So that is my start. I put it on a 14 count blue Ada. Another one out of the 100 cross-stitch Christmas ornaments. This is Santa Bear. I put it on a 14 count pink Ada, apparently. I don't know where that decision came from, but that's what it's on. And I have his little Santa outfit started. I put in 254 stitches as a new start. All right, next up is Shaman. This is a supersized max color by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Lori Prindle. He's way up there. I had somebody ask me how many supersized max colors I have. I'm not sure, but the very first time I bought from Heaven and Earth Designs, I bought 10 supersized max color because I didn't know what I was doing. And they're not all started, but they're up there. So this is 999 by 666. Here we go. Whoops. Excuse me, sir, you were not dismissed. And I'm just in that upper left-hand corner, first page. My poor husband is not used to hearing me blather on about my projects, so I only added 156 to this. this year. That's kind of pathetic. So there are 4,364 stitches. I would have just brought this down, what, like 2 lines? Maybe? Not even 2 lines? 665,334 for 0.66%. The dog has found one of his bones. So there. I don't even know if you can see the difference, to be honest. Okay, I really hope I have enough room on my phone to get this uploaded. But I really don't want to break it apart at this point, right? Alright, next up is Shoot for the Moon. I do have this in Pattern Keeper. This is a Stitchrovia pattern. I got this one off of Etsy. If I can find it. There it is. Oh, that's that one. Pardon the interlude while my dog goes nuts. Shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. And I put this on a 14 count Nordic Blue Ada, probably by Zweigart since it's named like that. And I got 597 out of 6,146, not counting backstitch, for 9.71%. Moon. Hopefully I didn't screw up the colors. It looks right so far. I just worked on this one. Did I remember to get it out? I don't think I did. These are my finishes. Hold on. I forgot I pulled it for the Monopoly stitching this coming week. This is a Mill Hill pattern. Snow falling on paper. I'm not stitching it on paper. I'm stitching it on, what is this? 28 count even weave. That's how many I have in. 114 stitches. It's just the very top of the stocking. I don't know what I was thinking by leaving myself like, what is that, 1/4 of an inch? No, that's like 1/2 inch. I don't know what I was thinking. Sometimes I'm an idiot, but that's okay. So, yeah. And that'll get worked on again here fairly soon. Okay. And then we have another Raven Phelan piece from Heaven and Earth Designs. This is Sol, S-O-L. It is 350 by 495. It is gorgeous. If you need a little bit of sunshine in your life, you just pick this one up and stitch some yellow. I added 399 stitches to him this year. I now have a total of 4,382 out of 173,250 for 2.53%. And there he is so far. You can see the swoosh of his like bangs from his mane. Right there. Oh, there we go. I don't remember getting the screenshot of this. Hopefully I did. All right, this next piece is a piece by Chris Ortega from Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the mini. This is Songs Under the Cherry Tree. She is 232 by 325. That is what she's going to look like when she's done. I actually started in her face in the middle. I don't remember if I even... she's not gridded. That may change at some point, but so far it was working alright, just following what I had started. I added 579 to her this year so far. And I am now at 1,300 even out of 75,400 for 1.72%. That looks a little weird where her eyes are going to be. But yeah. Alright, now this one is from Cross Stitch for Everyone. And when I find it, so in the PDF it is called Soul of a Dragon. I think it might be listed as Soul of a Dragon Eye, but I'm calling it Soul of a Dragon because that's what it says in the PDF. So that is the, not the mock-up. That is the artwork. And I got, this was a new start. It only has 233 stitches out of 75,264 for 0.31%. I have part threads. Apparently I said no to keep to moving on. Yeah, so that's not a huge start. It's on 32 count fabric. Apparently I need to serge it. 1/1 full cross. Very light start. It's funny because most of that is very dark, and that is very, like, the one corner that is light there. It's not big at all. All right, next one is the never-ending camping piece that I can't seem to get finished to save my life. Southwest Carousel. It is a stamped kit. I don't know if you're seeing the... You're probably seeing the before because I don't think I can fit it all together. So I will fade it here and hopefully we'll be able to see the difference. There we go. I don't know how many I've added. I don't track this one at all. A few threads maybe. I know this has come down. I don't remember if I've worked anything. Ow, the needle just poked me because I just left it hanging. I don't remember if I've put in anything in the horse. And the horses, I know when I have worked on it lately, it's been in here and over here. That's what I know. I'm very much ready to have this one done, but not like I've got to work on it now to get it done. It's just, I'm just ready to have it done. Next up is an older kit from Sunset. This is a Division of Dimensions before they just stopped calling it Sunset. I don't know why they would have changed it, but it is what it is. Southwest Still Life. Love this piece. This was a new start. I got 415 stitches in. Yet another one I'm going to try and... Oh, apparently I need to serge this one too. Good grief. Just need to get off my butt and do it when I get these out. That I'm going to try and get into Pattern Keeper. I got... Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Wait, what? I might have mentioned it already. That's why I'm confusing myself. 415 stitches. And that's the jar that's kind of in the middle. Obviously, it was a middle start. It's not full coverage, so I don't want to grid this one with my friction pens. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. All right, Spirit Horse is next. And is in the bin. This is artwork by Pixie Cold, but it is a stamped kit. If I remember, well, I know that the last time I saw this available legitimately was on Gecko Rouge on their site. Highly recommend their stuffs. You'll get a lot better detail on theirs too. And you won't have to backstitch. This year I have added 481 stitches. I do not know how many total stitches I have on this though. This is, oh, this is not stamped. I don't know if I said stamped. This is not stamped. So I may try to scan this in. Excuse me. But yeah, I got, this must have been really early this year because I don't even remember working on it. Here, probably been struggling trying to get that in. There we go. That's going to be worked on in the next few weeks. All right, next up is a piece by Dakota Detweiler. This one is on Charting Creations, where she moved to. Let's see, where was that? Spirit of the Phoenix, Charting Creations, artwork by Dakota Detweiler. And it is 380 by 380. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Lots of 310. And blues. It's beautiful. I added 243 stitches. I have a total of 1,634 stitches. There's one way out here, two way out here. Let's see. 1,634 out of 144,400 for 1.13%. I think I'm just filling in that diagonal and taking it wherever it goes until I decide to just stop. There we go. Stitching this on 28 count even weave, 1/1 full cross. Next up is artwork by Selena Fennick, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is her Spring Nouveau Fairy. She is 264 by 463. She's gorgeous. It's not technically full coverage. I count it as full coverage. There's no spaces between the stitches as far as the picture goes. In my head, anyways. Apparently I didn't feel like gridding, so this was a center start. I got 250 stitches in out of 70,439. I really should have gridded, but I know why I started in the middle is because it's not full coverage. I was working my way up to the top to start filling it in from the top down. So cross your fingers for me that I filled that in right. But I will just probably pick that next one up and keep working my way to the top until I can start filling it in that way. Alright, next up is Stained Glass Goddess 1. I think I got her off of Cross Stitch for Everyone, but let me triple check when I find her. Tilton Crafts. Tilton Crafts Stained Glass Goddess 1. This is artwork by Jane Creative. She is 350 by 350. However, that 350 included that white background. I am not stitching that background, so I don't have an accurate like stitch count for this one because I went ahead and marked it off. I should have just left it so that I could figure out at least total stitches properly. But I added 638 stitches this year to her. I'm stitching this on that 18 count putty fabric, or Davis fabric. Okay, and I'm stitching it on, I think I said that 18 count, yeah, not putty, Davis fabric in the color putty. And I did find the very top of the pattern, so I will start stitching from the top down. I think that'll be a nice frame color for it as far as that fabric goes. So yeah, according to Pattern Keeper, I'm 31.73% done, but that's if she was square. Ah. There we go. Oh, good. This next one I started for my husband. He is upstairs putting the kiddo to bed and he doesn't realize I'm stitching this for him. So this is a Star Wars poster. I got this off of Etsy from a store that no longer exists. How far up is that? Right here. It is 300 by 390. I am doing a center start because I'm also not stitching all that white background. There is plenty of white stitching that I will be stitching. That background color is not part of it. I apparently need to search this one too. Stitching this on 32 count fabric. 1/1 full cross. Again, I did not grid it because I'm not doing that background and I don't want the friction pen to show after it's been erased because it still exists. And I did basically end up kitting it up so that I don't have the die-lot issues, hopefully. Floss usage charts are very handy. Okay, next up is... Ouch. Let go. Just punch the table and like rip the hole in my bag. That's awesome. Okay. So, Summertime Fairy. This is a free pattern from Visa on Facebook. She inputs her stuff into pixelstitch.net. She uses royalty-free images. I just love her face. She's such a happy fairy. I'm just working up in the background, up in the top left-hand corner. I have added 800 stitches to this year, and that brings me to a total of 2,697. Here we go. I'm stitching this on 32 count even weave, 1/1 full cross. I don't know the exact number of stitches that I have in this because I was vacillating between markup and pattern keeper, and I've landed on pattern keeper finally. But I have added, I said that, 800. So yeah, it's approximately 2,697 stitches out of 230,400. Once I actually get down to like here, that'll be accurate at that point. So approximately 1.17% complete on this. There's this fuzzy background so far. This was a new start this year. The Swans, Year in the Woods by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is the one that has the most progress so far of all my Year in the Woods pieces, and I'm very excited to continue working on it. So far I have 2,237 stitches in this, and that is where we are at with it. It's a little bit hard to see. It is very pale stitching on kind of a pale fabric. There we go. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to getting these moving. Alrighty, Tan Carousel Horse is next. This is a kit by Bernat. Again, I don't know how many stitches total I have on this, but I added 380 this year. I'm stitching this on the kit stuff, 14 count Ada, 3/1 full cross. So looking like something a little bit now. I did have one UFO this year. I UFO'd my temperature potion, Sal. I talked about why in a past. I stitched 655, and then, yeah, things happened. All right. Tree Gnome is next. That's what he's going to look like when he's finished. I have added 356 stitches to him. He is now at 828 stitches out of 2,723 minus back stitching for 30.14%. So at least it looks like a hat now. It was looking a little weird with just this part in it. So there's that. Next up is Tulip Egg by Anders Eisman from the Cross Stitch Studio. This is 350 by 455 stitches. Background is not stitched. I love tulips. Just that they remind me of my grandmother. She used to have this line of tulips on her driveway that popped up every spring. I loved them. I've added all of 210 stitches to this so far this year, and that puts me at 697 stitches total out of 35,805. So just mostly those bright pink stitches. I'm trying to work my way up to the top of the egg so that I can, again, start working my way down. And did I say we're at 697 out of 103,677 for 0.67%. And that's a bright pink. Alright, next up is Twisted Rainbow Sampler. This is a piece by Northern Expressions Needlework. This is the cross stitch only version. Kind of wish I would have gotten the specialty stitches, but that's okay. I got the companion piece to this, the Twisted Band Sampler, and that one I'm doing the specialty stitches in. I haven't started it though. Have not started it. I think I still gotta get fabric for it too, actually. Okay. Okay, I added 363 stitches to this year. It now has, I don't know how many stitches because I did not write it down, but that's where I started on it, or that's where I ended up on it, and there's the start there. So just plugging away at that band of butterflies. So I have records somewhere of how many stitches I had when I started using this tracker, but that was not something I was prepared to go dig for, so that is okay. Maybe I will look into getting this also in Pattern Keeper, and then I will be able to tell you, because I will just mark everything off that I've stitched so far. Although doing it that way is pretty challenging because it's not full coverage, and when I put it into Pattern Keeper like that, it counts every single square, not just the ones that are stitched. Okay, next up is Underwater Kingdom. This is a kit by Riolis. This was a new start this year. I have put in 677 stitches in. I'm just going to have to look at it this way. There we go. I am doing this on the kit stuff. I think it's a 14 count. Yeah, 14 count Ada. I have put in 677 stitches out of 35,805 minus back stitching for 1.89%. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors. And then Underwater World is a stamped cross-stitch kit. Here. I'm working from the top down, right in this orca area, that I have added 491 stitches, but I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure how many stitches have been, but we're in here before. So I think, let's do it that way. Can you see? Hopefully you can see. I think it was the orca that I worked on for the most part. Maybe even some of the sky. I don't know. That orca looks pretty good though. I don't know, honestly, if there's any backstitching in this. I will have to look on the paper pattern. Yeah, there is. I can see it through the bag. Come on, voice, we can do it. All right. Next up is Unicorn Silhouette. This is, I believe, a 2x2 stitch art. Yes, it is 2x2 stitch art. A non-full coverage piece. It's not super big. And I'm putting it on this really pretty peach fabric. I don't know, hopefully the color will show up right. Valkyrie Stitchworks Sunburst. It's a 28 count Lugana. I'm doing this 2/2 full cross. It doesn't look like anything yet, and it probably won't until I start getting the outline done. I think this one I was kind of trying to work my way to the top and start filling it in that way. With that, that's coming out a little bit more orangey than it is. It's really bright, and it's not coming out as bright as it is. That red's not helping. So. I remember I think I'm having some shading issues with this one too, between different manufacturers of thread. Yeah. Hopefully it will still turn out okay, even if it looks like it has less colors than it's supposed to have. I put in 375 stitches out of 5,733, so it is at 6.54%. Next up is another Heaven and Earth Designs. This is also a supersized max color piece. This is a NASA image of the Veil Nebula. It is 999 by 666 stitches wide. And there we go. My hammock tarp has this image on it. I love it. It's so pretty. Somebody else is stitching this too in my Facebook group, I think. Is that where I saw it? I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it. I can't remember. I need to get these threads worked done. They're starting to drive me crazy. So this year I have added, excuse me, 2,128 stitches, which is more than I thought I had added so far. So there, we'll get the side by side there. I think I cut it off a little bit. So just added more 310 in that page, so brought that down. And this, it's so funny how kind of harsh this line is right now, which, I mean, there is a harsh line between the pages, but this will all be filled in with like this really dark, 939s and those really dark purples. Like, you won't be able to see those holes. once that's filled in. So I'm now at 18,815 stitches out of 665,334 for 2.83%. All right, next up is another pain-free crafts piece. This is just called White Horse. It is by Kajena Art. It is 295 by 400. Again, this is one I don't have an accurate stitch count on because I'm removing a lot of that white background. Because I'm stitching it on this beautiful blue opalescent fabric from Be Stitch Me. I don't remember if I think it's like ice. I don't remember the name of the fabric. Polar blue, something, I don't know. I have added just 280 stitches to this year. I am not sure. It's so hard to see some of this lighter stitching that you may not even be able to see a difference in the before and after. Hopefully this looks good still once it's done. It's hard to decide where to cut that background out because it's not a hard and fast line with that. According to Pattern Keeper, I don't know, I didn't even bother. I didn't even bother writing it down because it's not accurate. All right, this was a new start this year with Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. And this is Wintertime Fairy. This is a gold collections from Dimensions. They have Autumn Fairy too, I think. Or Spring, I don't know. They have Spring, they have more of these. And I believe, so this artist is Meredith Dillman, and I know she's on Heaven and Earth Designs. I can't remember if this particular one is on there or not. I feel like somebody told me that there are, but frankly, I can get this one faster done if this is a possible finish compared to my hundreds of other full coverages that I will probably not get done in my lifetime. Sad to say. But so far I have 341 stitches in on this. I'm just using the kit stuff. This is an 18 count white Aida. And that is where I'm at so far. And that line is actually backstitching that I've got into so far. Look at me going. Look at me getting backstitched done already. It's important on the Dimensions gold pieces to keep up on the backstitch because, man, their backstitch is no joke and it's hard. It's not hard, but it's a pain in the butt. All right, 2 more to go, guys. Wolf Silhouette is next. Again, this is a 2x2 stitch art. Here we go. So kind of a companion piece to the unicorn. My husband his spirit animal is a wolf, if you will, and mine's a unicorn. So this is on that red 14 count Aida that I had earlier with the mandala feathers. It's only 150 stitches out of 7,742, but that gives me almost 2% already. I don't even know which way is up. This way. Doesn't look like anything yet because it's just that picture within the wolf. So until I actually get the shape of him, there we go, the shape of him in, it's not going to really look like much of anything. So All right, last but not least, there's nothing exciting, is one of the gnomes. It's very far down on the list in the PDF for this. So here he is, the Wreath gnome. So cute. He was a new start this year, and I got 489 stitches in on him. I forgot to put how many stitches he has, though. Out of 1,902. Here he is. Ta-da. Gotta start on his hat. He is at 25.71% already. Okay. So that, I'm at 3 hours. I'm really hoping this fits and I can convert it and get it uploaded with all of the edits and everything. I might have to uninstall a bunch of apps on my phone or something. If you have made it through, thank you so much for spending so much of your time with me. Even if you had to break it up into hour-long chunks or half an hour or whatever you had to do, I so appreciate you coming along on this journey and seeing what I've touched this year so far. It means a lot to me, and the bug is driving me crazy. So yeah, that is everything that I've touched so far this year. Tomorrow, as long as I still have a voice, I will be recording the rest of the whips that I have started. Just haven't touched this year. The list is much shorter than what this one was, so hopefully we'll only have like a 2-hour video instead of a 3-hour video. Alrighty, guys, take care. Stay stitchy, and I will see you hopefully in my next whip parade video. Take care, guys.